Arsenal then, the old familiar feeling is back and it is very good. Paul, Arsenal are still in it. Indeed, again tonight, Arsenal are top of it.
Peter, thank you very much. Yes, as you said, a win at last. First Premier League win in over a month has them back on top. For now, Manchester City, they do have 2 games in hand. They play tomorrow. But for now, the Gunners in first place. Big week coming up. The busy midweek fixtures continue tomorrow here on USA. Man City faced West Ham, with Pep's men looking to reclaim the top spot back from Arsenal, which they just took for themselves. And on Peacock, it's top 4 chasing Liverpool against Fulham. Then Thursday, Manchester United head to the South Coast, where they'll face a tough test against Brighton. Thanks for coming back inside the studio with us, Paul Burmeister, alongside Robbie, Earle, and Robbie Mustoe. So for the Gunners, it's one step at a time, but mission accomplished today. They win. They look good doing it. We talked a lot before the match, Robbie, about how do the Gunners get back on the winning track? How did they do it today?
They did it with getting back to the basics for them, which is moving the ball very quickly, no drama defensively. Not that they were pushed and pressed too much from Chelsea, but the football was good. Some of the intricate passing was great. Odegaard getting into good spots, finishing opportunities. That we saw the patterns and the passing movements that we've been familiar with. And I think that's so important today to regain a little bit of confidence, a little bit of belief. And I think you said it, like that's step 1 done. There's 2 big steps. The next step is Sunday against Newcastle away. They win that game, then the remaining 3 are kind of winnable. That's what Arsenal are going to have to do. They're going to have to win out and hope that Man City chip up a couple of times.
Yeah, the win was an absolute must, Robbie.
Yeah.
What part of it did you really like?
The control. There was more of the Arsenal control of the football that we haven't seen over the last month. And certainly, you know, games they were up 2-0, they've let teams back. Teams who were down 2-0, they've struggled to get back in. And it was interesting. Today, the guy who controlled the game most for Arsenal was Jorginho, who's a former Chelsea player. Was deemed not good enough at Chelsea when they're buying all these new players. Yet the guy today was an important part of why they've won the game. And it's interesting, you go the other side of the coin with Aubameyang, who was an Arsenal forward, who was a star man at Arsenal. Arsenal have moved beyond Aubameyang. They're in a different place now. The team is so much better that we got results like we got. From Arsenal, from now to the end of the season, it's about no regrets and 90 points. And if they can get there, do you know what? Then they have to hold their hands up and say City have been better.
Mikel Arteta made a number of changes to the lineup before the match. What specific credit do you give him today?
I think a good amount of credit. Yeah, I think the changes worked out great. Quite honestly, even if the changes wouldn't have been made, Chelsea was so poor, particularly in the first half, they probably would have been OK anyway. But why not? I think Lee Dixon said about it, likes the changes. Yeah, you shake it up when things aren't going so well. So that worked out particularly well. And they're back on track, you know, and after the last few results, it was in some ways a little difficult to see them getting back on track. But the way that they played, with a few changes, you know, players coming out. The only concern was with Gabriel. Yeah. You know, we know they're missing Saliba as a central defender. That will be a bit of a concern. They need Gabriel to be fit for the weekend and Sunday.
You kind of opened the door there for Chelsea. That's 6 consecutive losses.
Yeah.
Looking for some perspective on the depth of just how poor they were today and how poor they've been recently.
I'm going to the point of probably in Premier League history, this is the worst Chelsea team I've seen. Chelsea have been in London the most successful club over the last 20-plus years. Silverware continues to come, whatever's happened in terms of team or manager or changes. Today, this was unacceptable. And there's something that I always used to think when I used to play was like, there's a fear about my position and am I going to stay in the team and I've got to work hard. There doesn't look like there's any fear. There's no jeopardy for this Chelsea players. It's like they go out, they perform like that, and at the end of the game, they clap the fans and they go off. There's no accountability, and the sooner they get Pochettino or whoever in the door, the better.
You recognise that?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the game, you know, they're chatting and, like, just going through the motions a little bit. They're drifting, absolutely just drifting to the end of the season. I mean, if it is going to be Mauricio Pochettino, what a difficult job to try and sift through who really wants to be there and wants to play. Noni Madueke, by the way, credit for him. Madueke, really, really bright, was unaffected by the malaise at Chelsea, did his work really well, was positive, worked back. He did great. Other than that, it was very disappointing.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.